The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network. And hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Thursday. I had to think for a minute. A Thursday episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by our good friends, top right corner of the screen, Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. They go the extra mile for you, so you don't have to. We try to do the same here on this show every single day. We have some more coaches' corners to play for you. That's the way we go the extra mile, with interviews from the communities that you guys all know and love. We're going up to the 440 today. We're going to be hearing from Sarah Howe, the head coach of the Ashtabula St. John volleyball team. Excellent program, very successful, very competitive. It's a great coach's corner. We'll be playing that in today's show, so you guys can get a nice season preview of the St. John Heralds and their volleyball program. But first, like we always do, we're going to dive into the scoreboard on ysnlive.com, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet. By our good friends over at Burnett Pool Spas and Hot Tubs. Excuse me there. Get so used to saying Greenwood that you forget, wait a minute, we have other sponsors, right? So here is the scoreboard, brought to you by Burnett Pool Spas and Hot Tubs. The YSN scoreboard is a great tool for the YSN fans, whether you're at one of the games or watching one of our broadcasts. Either way, you don't want to look away from the screen for too long, or the action if you're not watching a broadcast but at a game live. And the YSN scoreboard is a great and easy way to get live updated scores from your favorite teams, whether it be your biggest rivals or your best friends. We have a team behind the scenes that works very hard to make sure this scoreboard is as live updated as possible, especially Friday nights when we get scores rolling in from football. So make sure to check out the scoreboard, ysnlive.com/scores, and once again presented by Burnett Pools, Spas, and Hot Tubs. Let's get into it. Wednesday, August 28th, 2024, Badger and Conneaut, doing some battle in volleyball. Conneaut gets the win in straight sets, 3-0. Lakeside, they get the win over Cheney in straight sets as well. Mooney and Warren Western Reserve putting on a show. It was a thriller, a 5-set thriller in this one, and Mooney gets the win 3-2. They won the first two sets. Western Reserve won the next two, and then Mooney was able to pull off the match in 5. So here are the stats from Mooney, as Sam Rotuno led them in kills, 16 kills, 26 digs. That's a double-double for your utility belt for Sam Rotuno. Jada Lane right there with her, 15 kills, 6 blocks. An amazing night for her. Brinkley Bear was the third Cardinal in double figures for kills, 11 kills, 25 digs. That's a double-double. We have Sophia Rotuno, the libero for Mooney, 19 digs, 3 aces. And then a big day from Kaylin Radinsky, a triple-double for her, 49 assists, 14 digs, and 11 aces for her. So an amazing day for the Cardinals, stats all around. We did also get stats from Western Reserve with a 5-set thriller. You're going to rack up the numbers. Izzy Morrow had 26 kills, 11 digs. Haley Fellows, 22 assists, 21 digs. Those are both double-doubles for your day. So double-doubles everywhere. This was a great volleyball match. You have Dalen Brown with 15 kills, 6 blocks, 11 digs. There's another double-double. So both teams, 3 players with double-doubles, 6 total. That is the definition of well-rounded, well-executed, and well-paired volleyball. These teams are just very even with each other, and Mooney was able to pull out that fifth set 15-11. So it was close the whole time. The set scores, by the way, were Mooney won sets 1 and 2, 25-16, 25-21. Western Reserve comes back, barely wins set 3. Holds on, 26-24. Then they take that momentum of winning that set into set 4. They win 25-16. And then Mooney pulls it out in set 5, 15-11, the final there. So a great volleyball match between those two. I thought it would be, and it absolutely did not disappoint. Now, another game that we thought would be very competitive last night, but it just didn't work out that way, was Crestview Girard. This was highly billed. Both teams very good, but Crestview came in, put their best foot forward, and there was just no stopping the Rebels on this particular night. They sent a message throughout the whole volleyball world, in the area especially, like, hey, we are still very, very good, and we will still beat really good teams. It's easy to let Crestview kind of lull in the waters, right? No one in the league really is giving them too much of a challenge right now. So but every time they get one of these really strong teams on their schedule to pop up, it's okay, here we go. And this was the third time they've played in the last 3 years. Crestview's won 2 out of those 3 now. Girard won 2 years ago in straight sets, but Crestview won last year with a sweep, and now they win this year in Girard with a sweep, 3-0. The stats for this one, Abby Imps was her normal self, 20 kills on the night for her, 11 digs. That's a double-double. She also had 2 blocks, 2 aces. Laney Hour was 2 kills away from a double-double with 8 kills and 12 digs. She had 6 assists as well as a block and 3 aces. Bailey Ash playing great defense in the back row. She had 10 digs and 10 service points. 8 digs and 21 assists for Sophia Stewart. For Crestview, 3 aces for her as well. The Rebels served really, everything that could have gone wrong for Girard in this game did. Their serve receive wasn't there. They couldn't really stay away from the unforced errors. It was just one of those nights, and I talked to Phil Walters after. He said, you know what, it happens. One of those nights with a younger team, they only have 3 seniors. One of those nights where it just doesn't really go the way you want it to. The good thing that he said, he's happy that they have a game tonight so they can quickly just wash away the taste of that, try to focus on South Range, which is a conference game, and try to play a lot better. I was talking to Scotty about this yesterday, and this isn't like a heated rivalry, but it's one of those games that you circle, right? So it's not a rivalry, Girard Crestview, but I think both volleyball teams knew going into this game, like, this is one we're going to get really up for. And when you lose a game like that, it does suck. It does really take the wind out of your sails. But remember what I said with Scotty yesterday, when you lose rivalry games that are out of conference, it still doesn't affect any of your overall goals, right? It doesn't hurt your tournament spot. Everyone gets in, especially in volleyball, right? Every sport except football has no bearing on the playoffs. If you lose this game, you just got to go right back in the league. That's what Girard's going to try to do tonight at South Range. A schedule update on Crestview's side. They were scheduled to play today at home against Brookfield, but the heat in that gym has just been too severe in this hot and humid last couple of days. So make sure to note that this game against Brookfield tonight has just been swapped. They are going to go to Brookfield tonight, and the game that was scheduled to be at Brookfield is now at Crestview. So they have swapped those dates. So Crestview at Brookfield tonight, not Brookfield at Crestview. Fans of both teams, make sure you take note of that. And we have also shared that on our social media pages as well. So at Crestview tonight, Brookfield and the Warriors. Brookfield and Rebels at Brookfield tonight. not at Crestview. So there's a little update for you there. Heartland Christian gets into East Palestine, wins 3-2 over the Bulldogs, a 5-set thriller. Lisbon goes to Malvern, loses in 4 sets. McDonald has no problems with Sebring. They win 3-0 in a sweep. Boardman fights hard against a 6-1 Oak Glen team coming in out of West Virginia, but they do fall in 4 sets. They won the first set, and then they lost the next 3. So Boardman's win streak ends there. We do have some stats from that game. Want to shout out the players that played really well because they did have quite a few good performances. Maya Flores with 17 kills. Maisie Kaufman had 10 assists, 10 digs. Ava Commons, 39 assists. She continues to have a great season. Lily Ysn had 3 blocks, and Sadie Satterfield had 4 aces for the Spartans. They won set 3. All right, so they lost set 1 and 2, won set 3, lost set 4. Oakland won set 1, 25-12, set 2, 25-23. Boardman came back, won 25-23 in set 3, and then set 4 was won 25-22. So after that first set wasn't competitive. Oakland came out and punched hard, but Boardman made every set after that super close. But kind of like South Range on Monday, the tables got turned a little bit, and Boardman just couldn't make those final plays to win a set in the ones that mattered. So what a fight from Boardman. That's a really talented Oak Glen team, and that's going to get them ready for the rest of their schedule because Boardman's schedule is really brutal. Warren JFK, they fall to Lake Center Christian 3-0 in a sweep for the Eagles. Let's go into boys soccer. We saw Crestview beat Middle Ridge by the final score of 6-0, a shutout for Crestview. Grand Valley all over Matthews, 10-0 the final score there. Jackson Milton ends LeBray's unbeaten streak as they hand the Vikings their first loss of the season, 4-0 the final score there. Newton Falls to Camel, 2-0 the final score as Campbell gets the shutout. Brookfield beats Waterloo 2-1. And then Garfield beats Liberty 2-0. So those are the scores for boys soccer. Girls soccer, a lot of action on Wednesdays. As we go through it. Come on. There we go. Hold on. Hoban was able to hold off Akron St. Vincent St. Mary in a 3-0 win. Louisville and North Canton Hoover, they draw with a scoreless game. South Range falls to Struthers 7-1. Canfield, they beat Marlington 5-1. Final score in that one. We have Hubbard. They fell to Poland 4-0. The final score there. Poland girls soccer still very good. Howland gets the win over Ursuline. Final score there 10-0. West Branch, they draw with Boardman. No one scores in that game. Warren JFK, they draw with Mooney, I should say, 1-1. It's a great matchup there between two powerhouses in the area with a lot of speed. Girard, they fall to Lakeview 5-1. Salem, they draw with Southeast 3-3. Newton Falls falls to Rootstown 6-0. And last but not least, Niles beats Austin Town Fitch in a really good soccer matchup. This one, 3-2 was the final score there between the Dragons and the Falcons. So, very good soccer being played last night on the girls' side. Boys had a couple of games, 6 games total, and then volleyball once again, just like every Wednesday. Volleyball is kind of reserved for most teams having non-conference matchups, so that's why it's a little sparse. Tonight will be very heavy volleyball, very heavy. I think boys soccer, I think, will have quite a bit tonight too when we look at the scoreboard. We will check out the scoreboard for today in a little bit towards the end of the show when we preview what's going on tonight on the network. We will check out the scoreboard from tonight and see what's going on. Once again, that update from Crestview, though, just want to reiterate it. Crestview will play at Brookfield tonight instead of Brookfield playing at Crestview in volleyball. The heat in that gym is serious, right? I've been to Crestview during the volleyball season. Even on a mild day, it gets hot in there. And today, let's look at Storm Tracker 21, see what the temperature is today. Because yesterday was in the 90s. It says 85 right now, but the high today is 88. So you'll look at that, brought to you by Storm Tracker 21. The high is 88. That gym is going to probably feel like over 100 degrees at the point of game. So they're like, we don't have enough big fans for that. Let's move that game and try to get it into the nice Brookfield, who has a nice kind of air-conditioned gym. So that game has been moved. They'll play at Brookfield tonight when they were originally scheduled to play at Brookfield, which I believe, if I remember right, was September 21st. I'm going to confirm that for you guys here in a moment. September 24th. I was 3 days off. So September 24th, then Brookfield will come to Crestview. That's when those two teams will play in the Rebel Dome. So make sure to mark your calendars for that, and make sure you don't go to Crestview tonight. If you're a volleyball fan of either team, you will be sorely disappointed. Not only will there not be a team there, but you will be sweating and hot in that gym. So make sure tonight, if you're a fan of Brookfield or Crestview, you're heading down to Brookfield for volleyball tonight. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will have Sarah Howe, the head coach of the St. John Herald's volleyball team, a Coach's Corner featured from her next on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
Craftsmanship to us is 60 years of pride and dedication.
Passed down from generation to generation.
The hardwood floors that your kids take their first steps on.
The solid wood doors you quietly close at night.
The things we create day in and day out are the products that end up turning your house into a home.
At Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, uncompromising quality and craftsmanship built our business.
And it will keep us moving forward for generations to come.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means we want to take care of the community that takes care of us too.
And we have to work together always. And that's how you stay in business for 40 years.
You know, I love being a helper because when I help somebody, it makes me feel good.
It means a lot that I can make a difference in others' lives.
So I will do everything I can and just being there for them every step of the way.
I want them to know within the first 5 minutes that they could depend on me. That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun. It all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Now you can see every school, to the smallest school, to the intermediate schools, to the schools in the outlying areas. It gives you coverage that you could just never get to before. It's something that's great to experience, and it's opened up a whole new wave of sports viewership. The possibilities are endless here at YSN. Push the envelope every day. Try something new. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, let's try another angle, and we just keep moving forward. My name is Mike Ackelson, and my sports network is your sports network.
What can you do on over 5,000 acres? At Mill Creek Metro Parks, you can discover unique habitats and wildlife, create memorable family moments, experience history, heritage, and park programs, explore scenic landscapes, take time to relax and be well, connect with nature and each other. Come see what's new at Mill Creek Metro Parks. Plan your trip now at millcreekmetroparks.org.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means taking care of our local customers.
And it's just a great feeling to put them in a vehicle and get them all excited about a new vehicle.
At the end of the day, our goal is to be someone our customers can count on.
And every day I'll go the extra mile for the community so they can trust us.
To do anything that would convenience the customer or make them feel more at home.
Realizing, number one, that we're here for them and that we're not going to go away.
That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet. Top right-hand corner of the screen right there is where you can find them. They will go the extra mile for you. So do we here on Running Point. We want to thank you so much for tuning in today to Running Point. If you are in the market for a new or used vehicle, make sure to check out our good friends at Greenwood. Or if you're in need from service, right? They have a great service department as well. They'll take care of whatever your needs are. Right? They'll go the extra mile, just like they say in their commercials. They're good at that. We try to follow their lead. We try to go the extra mile for you on the show every day. We try to make sure that we're following the example, right, of Greenwood Chevrolet. We do that by our interviews. Our interviews we feature on this show all the time, and we are going to continue our Coaches Corners for the beginning of the season. We have a great volleyball Coaches Corner from Sarah Howe from the Ashtabula St. John program, which is a very successful St. John volleyball program, a lot of talent, and almost all of them coming back from last year, highlighted a really good season and hopefully a really good season again for them. They did not lose a set in the conference last year, so they're trying to repeat that this year in the conference as well. So let's hear from Sarah Howe from the very talented volleyball program down there in Harold's Country here on Running Point. All right, Anthony Hartwig here with another fall sports season preview. We're joined by the volleyball coach up in Ashtabula St. John, Sarah Howe. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
So we are so excited for St. John volleyball this year, of course. I know you guys are too, but before we talk about all the exciting things in store for this year, let's have a little bit of a recap of last year and what you think some of the lessons that you want to take from last year, especially from, of course, the returning players that have all that experience from last year.
Sure, absolutely. So I've been very blessed to have some great longevity in our team. There's been very little turnover the last couple of years, so they just gel very well together. Last year we fell short of of getting to the district finals and repeating going to regionals. So I know that's really high on their list again this year. But overall, I think they are they're a great team and they're fun to coach.
Let's have a little meet the team segment. I want you to go through your roster, the big names in your team that everyone needs to know, and maybe a couple of new faces that are shining in the varsity level this year too.
Sure, absolutely. So our like I said, for the most part, we have pretty much everybody's returning from the varsity team last year. Lizzie Ducro, senior, she's senior setter. She's been setting varsity for, her entire high school career. So she's a huge asset on our team. Gabby Johnson's another senior. Both of them are captains. They're incredible leaders on the floor during practice. I always say that they make me a better coach. So it's a real honor to be able to have them. Ellie Bain is another senior. She's kind of been she's had some playing time in the last couple of years, but she's really stepped up this past summer, and so she's going to be a big help for us. And then we have a transfer student coming in this year, Bella Stern. She's a senior, big middle hitter. It's kind of what I've been lacking the last couple of years is that answer in the middle. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what she can bring to our team. And then a really strong junior class. Alexa Jordan is a phenomenal libero, and she eats up everything on the court. Emma Hutchins, another outside hitter, junior. She's she's a force on the court. And then Marissa Arietta Williams and Izzy Holler, again, really developed over last year, their sophomore year, and are really looking to see how they compete this year. And then kind of a bigger addition this year. She had some varsity time last year, but has really come into her own this year is Katie Carney. So she's another junior. So very, very upperclassman heavy varsity team.
Yeah, and like you said, so little turnaround, everyone coming back a year. One of those big names that we got to actually talk to last year in a player profile, and one of the names that I'm sure everyone that's listening here wants to hear about, Gabby Johnson, coming back for her senior year, has already been able to do so much in her career at St. John. So I'm sure your opponents will be scared at this question. But what way, how do you see her getting even better her senior year? What things is she doing even better now than she already has been?
She's a very smart player, and I've watched her from the time she was a freshman to now. And I get her that short season during high school volleyball season, but she plays club and travel ball as well. She's a smart player, and she's gonna beat you with her volleyball knowledge. So she's a great athlete.
It's got to be such a treat to have that as a coach, because it's almost like having a second coach out on the floor.
100%. Like even tonight at practice, we were working on some things with our JV team, and she stopped the practice because we as coaches, we can say things all time in and time again, and it comes a little different when it comes from a player, and especially a captain.
I want to talk about the libero, because your liberos, and every libero that's out there in the volleyball world, doesn't get nearly enough love. They don't get the sexy stats that everyone's talking about, but man, do they do all the dirty work in the back row. You have a really good one. Talk about what it's like to have a libero that's been steady throughout the program for as long as she has, and that you can trust in the back row to get the ball right to your setter.
So when Alexa was a freshman, was coming into postseason, she wrote me this letter, and volleyball is her life, and she will tell you that, and anybody that has watched her play can see that she just eats and breathes volleyball. You said she doesn't get the sexy stats, but man, that girl keeps us in a lot of games. She digs up some pretty hard driven balls. She chases balls down. And I don't panic in the back row, in serve receive, or, I know our defense can score a point. So to have that is a real blessing as well.
I know the kills and the blocks get on the highlights, but I love a good dig.
I love a good dig.
It's so deflating to the other team, because they think they put one down, and not so fast. Let's talk about your schedule. You play in a very tough conference that you really test you. And what do you expect out of it this year? And what do you think are some of the goals and expectations that you have from your team competing in the conference?
So this is our third year in the NAC. And again, it's a competitive league. And our first year in it, we went undefeated. We didn't drop a set, went undefeated completely. And we were really, really proud of that. And then the next year we did it again. Again, didn't drop a set, and went, undefeated in our league. And it's a source of pride for these girls, and they know they've got a big target on their back, because everybody wants to beat us. So they know what they have to do, and we're going to be competitive in our league again this year.
Target is the understatement. People are coming in; they're just kind of tired of being the doormat to St. John on the conference.
Yeah, there's definitely some competition there,
right?
And it makes us a better team, because teams want to beat us, and we don't want to let teams beat us.
No, you also get to go outside the conference quite a bit and test yourselves outside of those waters. Talk about some of the teams that pop up outside of the NAC that you're really excited about, that you think will really test your team.
Yeah, so we're really blessed in Ashtabula County to have some pretty strong, for us, non-conference county teams. We'll go up against Edgewood and Jefferson and Conneaut this year. And we don't see Geneva, but we saw Geneva in our preseason. But really looking forward to being competitive with our county teams. And the girls love to play against these girls. They've known them their whole lives. They play club with them, so it's a nice friendly rivalry.
I also, every time we talk volleyball, I want to talk about communication and team chemistry, because volleyball, more than most sports, like if you don't have communication, you're just not going to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about some of the things that this program does to make sure that the girls are tight knit. They trust each other on the floor enough to communicate like you have to.
Yeah, I mean, we spend a lot of time with each other, in the summer in the gym. We had a big team dinner the other night. I know, I think you guys were filming our football coach. So we were at dinner the other night. But again, it's a small school, so they are forced to be with each other day in and day out. And the majority of them all play club as well, so they've developed that team chemistry and that team bond over these years.
If you're at dinner during Sam's show, don't be afraid to muscle your way into that. All right?
Yeah, I think they did. There may have been some Dr. Pepper cans being built and things. There was. Yeah,
that's wild.
There's some background bloopers.
I also want to talk just a little bit about tournaments. I know normally in these season previews, we wouldn't be looking that far ahead, but tournaments look a lot different this year in every sport that's not named football. It's expanded 7 divisions now in volleyball. What were some of your initial thoughts when that came about, and how much do you think this will help St. John open the door for them to make a little bit deeper of runs?
Yeah, so, I've always joked. I've been at St. John's for a long time, and I always joked that we were a very small Division 4, and if there were 5 divisions, we would be Division 6. But we're now Division 7. The level of competition, whether it's Division 1 or Division 7 in Ohio, is pretty intense. We're looking again to get past kind of our postseason rival, Wellsville. We've faced them 3 years in a row, but I think we've got a really good opportunity to go far this year.
So some teams get to avoid the teams that have been the thorn of their side in tournaments. You, not so much. Does that excite you a little bit that you still get to test yourself against that team that I'm sure you guys want really bad? You circle them if you get the chance to play them.
Yeah, and last year I knew exactly what was going to happen. I thought Wellsville was underranked last year going into the postseason. I looked at their schedule. I've known this team now for, at that time for 2 years prior. So I thought they were underranked. And I selfishly took a home court advantage, knowing that I was going to face them sooner. I've told the team, my coaches, parents, everybody, I was like, whatever I do, however I can to avoid that until I see them in the regional.
Whatever it takes.
I will give up home court advantage.
Coach, at the end of these interviews, with all the coaches we interview, we want to give them the chance to talk about their staff and the people that are behind them, because we know you don't do it alone. We're giving you the interviews, the limelight, but you have so many people that are working to make this program what it is. Want to give you the chance to highlight the staff and the people in this program that work alongside you.
Absolutely. Maddie Martino has been on my coaching staff for the last, I think, 4 years now. I coached her when she was in high school. So she's a great person to have on the staff. I have a new assistant coach this year. Her name's Maria Meeker. I actually went to high school with her, and I was looking for another assistant coach. And so that was nice because we played volleyball together. So it's a nice full circle moment. I have tremendous parents that help out with everything from, providing snacks and pregame meals and, our scorekeeping. I can't do it without them. They're a great group of parents to have behind us, and they support St. John's and they support the volleyball team.
Coach, I know the parents, the community, very excited for the rest of this season. We are too. We'll be down there. We'll be covering you guys just like we always do. And we're excited as well. So we want to thank you for helping us preview the season. We wish you the best of luck this year, and we can't wait to talk to you real soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Sarah Howe from Ashtabula St. John with a great coach's corner there, previewing the Herald season. And when talking to her, you get that sense that this is a team that is still hungry, and it would be kind of like, oh, what do you mean still hungry? They had a fine. What do you mean hungry? They had a fine season last year. They did, but that early tournament exit kind of put a damper in it. They want to have a successful regular season and then put the stamp on it with a deep tournament run, and they feel like Coach Howell feels like going down a division and having that door open a little bit. St. John is the perfect example of a team that will really benefit from the expansion of volleyball in the state of Ohio. A very talented but small school that really didn't have too much of a chance in Division 4 to make a deep run, right? They were running into juggernauts and chainsaws that were bigger than them. They were bigger schools than them, and you can't control that, right? So now, as a smaller school that's got a lot of talent, I think every sport, I don't think just volleyball, I think their basketball team and their softball team are both going to benefit from that expansion, from that, parity-driven, I should say, I almost say conference, parity-driven tournament. St. John is going to be one of those teams that you'll look at when the tournament comes and go, oh, they can do some stuff. They can make a run. This bracket's going to be much more favorable. Now, I'm not going to say there's not going to be any hurdles at all. It's not like the divisions are all of a sudden, the small divisions are all of a sudden easy and no teams that are talented are in that bracket. No, not the case. But they're going to be playing teams that are much more comparable to the size that they are, which just is one more disadvantage that you don't have to deal with. You can really focus on the X's and O's when you don't have to deal with the fact that they just have more players. They're bigger. There's just nothing we can do about that. So when you don't have to deal with that, and you can focus just on the X's and O's and execution and who's the better volleyball team that night, that's a big burden off the coach's shoulder. So I know Sarah Howe is glad that the tournament has expanded, and I'm sure St. John, the fans and the community and the players are as well, because that team is talented enough and deserves a deep tournament run. Can't wait to see what they're able to do this year. They're in our power rankings right now, and I think they're going to be continuing to be on our power rankings, top 25. I think they're an absolutely top 25 team in YSN. They're very, very good. Let's look at the schedule for tonight. We're going to pop the scoreboard back up on the screen. Oops, didn't mean to click on that. Opening a new tab is not what I wanted to do. Let's go to tonight, which is September 29th. Like I said, full slate of volleyball tonight, Thursday. Most teams getting back into league play after some non-conference tests last night. Mooney will be trying to stay hot. They're 4-1 to open the season. They're hosting Struthers tonight, a very improved Struthers Wildcats team. So this is not a gimme for Mooney at all. They got to make sure they shirt up, and especially since it's their third game of the week, they got to make sure that their endurance is good. Lisbon tries to get back on track as they return home to host Latonia. Springfield is at home against Lowville. United goes to Wellsville. So those are some EOAC and MVAC matchups. Beaver and PA, they're going to be playing Peter Township. Tonight, Beaver local, they've already won 2 games this week on Monday and Tuesday. They'll try to make it 3-for-3 on the week with a matchup at home against Indian Creek tonight. Boardman trying to bounce back after their loss last night to Oak Glen. They're hosting East. Once again, Crestview is going to be at Brookfield now. That game going to be still happening tonight at 7 o'clock. We have Campbell going to Western Reserve. I think this is going to be one of the games of the night. Gary Leininger, our ace photographer, is going to be at this game. So if you're a fan of Campbell or Western Reserve, make sure to keep an eye out on our Smug Mug pages. They will have brand new pictures of both those teams for you tonight. Around 9 o'clock, I would say 8:30, 9 o'clock is when Gary usually gets them up. So make sure to keep a good eye on our Smug Mug. Pictures for purchase from both teams, from Campbell and Western Reserve. That's going to be a really, really good matchup. Champion goes to LeBray tonight in an MVAC matchup. Champion trying to bounce back from their first loss of the year. They're 4-1, trying to become 5-1. Girard and South Range, the Indians, also trying to bounce back from a game they felt like they did not play well in last night against Crestview. Back in the league, Girard trying to make a run at the Bulldogs of Lakeview in the NE8. Garrettsville Garfield traveling to Southeast tonight inside the MVAC. Howland goes to Warren Harding inside the AAC. And the more NE8 play as Hubbard goes to Poland. Jackson Milton will be traveling to Waterloo. Remember, the Blue Jays are coming off a huge win over Western Reserve at home last time out. Now they're trying to make it 2 in a row in the MVAC tonight in Waterloo. That'll be a fun game to try to keep an eye out for. Lakeview going to Niles tonight as they continue NE8 play, trying to go back-to-back inside the NE8. Newton Falls travels to Liberty. We have Orange. They're going to be hosting Cleveland Central Catholic tonight. Wyndham and St. John, who we just heard from Sarah Howe, and the St. John volleyball coach. They'll be traveling to Wyndham. Minerva going to Salem tonight. EBC play. That's a rare Thursday EBC game. Usually those EBC conference games are Mondays and Wednesdays. So very cool to see Salem getting a league game tonight against Minerva. Southern goes to East Palestine tonight. We have Cathedral Prep going to Ursuline. Columbiana traveling to Valley Christian. Last but not least, on the volleyball court, East Liverpool going to Harrison Central. When we look at boys soccer tonight, like I said, a much fuller slate than last night. We have Louisville. They're going and they're going to be hosting Norton. Austintown Fitch traveling to Ursuline tonight. Girard will go to Liberty. Howland will go to Hubbard tonight. That's a nice little rivalry there between those two. Mooney and the Cardinals getting together, a battle of the cards on the boys soccer field. Champion goes to Warren Harding. United traveling to Kidron Central Christian tonight. Badger goes to Bristol. We have Warren JFK, who just got the impressive draw last night. They're back in action tonight. Akron St. Vincent St. Mary comes to town. We have Salem going to Niles. West Branch goes to Poland. Those two, I think, are going to be really good matchups. Both all YSN matchups. Both matchups between two really good soccer teams. That should be fun. Heartland Christian rounds out the boys soccer slate. They're traveling to Steubenville Central Catholic. So then as we scroll down and we see the girls soccer matchups today, 6 of them going on. Lakeside goes to Jefferson up in the 4-4-0. We have United traveling to Champion. Champion, after a tough start to the season, has really gained a lot of momentum. So we'll excuse me. We'll see if Champion can keep that momentum up. Beaver Local, they are hosting Harrison Central. Beaver Local girls got a big win on Tuesday, so they'll try to get one here tonight. Brookfield travels to Columbiana. We have LeBray going to Springfield. Waterloo hosting Akron Springfield, just like their football team last week did. Must be a little bit of partnership there between Akron, Springfield, and Waterloo. A bunch of teams going down to Atwater from Akron. And then Badger will travel to Bristol. And I believe that's going to be a boys-girls doubleheader, if I remember right. Did I see Badger Bristol up here yet? Boys-girls doubleheader. Boys first, girls second. So now let's see what games will be broadcasted tonight and who's going to be out there broadcasting them for you. When we look at volleyball, tonight we're going to have 4 games on the network. Excuse me. So sorry about that. Eric Hughes is going to be at Mooney for Struthers and Mooney. We're going to have Rick Daly at Lisbon, Latonia. I will be at Springfield for their matchup with Lowville, and then Gary Altizer will be at United in Wellsville. Whew. I got the coughing tickles for sure. Also, Orange will be broadcasting their game as a school broadcast. And then we have boys soccer on the network. Norton will be at Louisville. Ursuline will be hosting Fitch. Girard will be at Liberty. And Howland and Hubbard will all be on the network. Rob Johnson has you covered for Louisville. Don Polkovich has you covered for Ursuline. Matt Marr has you covered for Liberty. And then Zach Svensson has you covered for Hubbard. So that's your schedule. We want to thank you so much for tuning in today to Running Point. We will be back tomorrow. No, we actually update. We will not. No show tomorrow. We are going to be taking tomorrow off. No Friday show tomorrow, but be sure to the Power Hour Super Show tomorrow for all your football needs. I will be back on Monday. Power Hour comes up next 3 to 4 and tomorrow from 3 to 4. But for me, I will be back on Monday to talk about all the weekend action and stuff that went down. So make sure to check in there, and we will be having a good night. I will be at Springfield, Lowville. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and we will see you all.